Hey, it's Chef Evelyn here, and I am back with another video. And today I want to talk about the 8 types of chefs that need to transition their business to a high-end culinary brand. And listen, y'all, I have spent a lot of time over the years working with a variety of different clients. And there are some patterns that I'm noticing over and over and over again in the types of people who a high-end culinary brand is really the best approach for their business model. So I'm doing this video because you may be experiencing some things in your business that's a sign that you need a high-end culinary brand. So specifically, there are 8 types of chefs who need a brand overhaul, right, in order to reach their goals of culinary entrepreneurship freedom. So I want you to watch through this video and see if one or more of these chefs or these scenarios apply to you. So let's get into it. So the first type of chef that needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand is you keep attracting clients who have champagne tastes, but they have tap water budgets, right? And you are over it. Okay. So, you send them an invoice, they ghost you. You send them the proposal, they're trying to negotiate your rates down. You tell them what's included, and you itemize your invoice, and they're like, well, can you take this off? And what if I do this? And what if I bring this? And what if I have my cousin serve? And listen, you're just like, enough is enough. Like, you're exhausted from the people with tap water budgets. Doesn't make them bad, but it's just not a good fit for where you are and where you want to be in your business, right? And so here's the problem. Right. Here's the problem. You're ready to move away from those kind of clients who want you to downgrade your creativity to match their budgets, right? Like, it's not that their budgets are bad. It's not that they're, beneath anybody, but it's just kind of like for what you want to bring to your business, for the level of creativity and like culinary expertise and the level of service you want to bring, their budget just doesn't allow for you to be all that you can be as a chef, right? And so you have so many things and ideas that you want to do, but you feel kind of stifled into a box by people's budget. A high-end culinary brand will be great for you because it's going to allow you the creative freedom. It's going to give you the margin within your business to implement all of these fantastic ideas that you have. You want to be fully expressed creatively. You want to be fully expressed from a culinary point of view. You want your service and your standards to be at a certain level. And so a high-end culinary brand will allow you enough room in the budget to do that and still make a profit. Also, a high-end culinary brand will help you attract those clients who not only can pay a higher price point and who appreciate all the things that you want to incorporate in your business, but they will do so happily, right? Which is important, and easily, right? So they can afford it and they happily and easily can pay a higher price for what you're bringing to the table, literally and figuratively. But in addition to that, one of the benefits of having a high-end culinary brand is it also very subtly and gently repels the people who don't have it in their budget for what you want to do. And so you don't spend so much of your time realizing like, oh, this person is not a good fit, right? Your brand itself will help you kind of sort through who are the right clients for you and who are the clients they may need to consider another chef for their services. So let's get into number 2. So here is the second chef that needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand. You are the chef. You are booked, busy, and completely at capacity. Your client roster is full. You have nowhere to go. You've hit a plateau. Bars. Anyway, right? So you've done well. You're like, hey, my books are full, and that's all wonderful until your business can grow. And so you're kind of stuck in this, like, you're grateful that your client roster is full, but there's no way for you to make any more money. There's no way for your business to expand. There's only so many of you. And even if you have staff, there's only so many of staff. There's only so many hours in a day. And the problem is you're working nonstop and you can't remember the last time that you had a real vacation where you didn't at least have to do a little bit of work or think about work while you were there. So now it's like all work, no play. Yes, people are like, oh, I'm booked and busy. And you're like, yes, I'm booked and busy, but it's not as appetizing as people make it seem. And you're at capacity. So you're literally at a standstill with no way to expand your business and reach your next set of goals. And so here's why a high-end culinary brand will be super beneficial to you, because a high-end culinary brand is not only going to allow you to work with fewer clients and still make the kind of income that you're currently making and maybe even beyond, but more importantly, it's going to give you bandwidth in your schedule, time for you to focus on other interests outside of work. Yes, we love what we do. We love food. It's our passion. We wouldn't be doing it if that wasn't the case. But you are not one-dimensional. And so there are things that you enjoy outside of the kitchen. There are relationships that you want to nurture. You want to have time for self-care. You want to take a real vacation. Maybe you just want to take a nap, okay? And not feel like, oh, I need to check my email, or I need to be prepping. I need to be grocery shopping. I need to be doing whatever it is that I'm doing, marketing, all this kind of stuff. So if you are someone who is booked, busy, and at capacity, and you're like, my business is at a plateau and I have nowhere to go, I had to run it back one time. You know what I'm saying? Just because we love a little rhyme. Okay. If that is you, then you definitely need to consider a high-end culinary brand. So the third type of chef that needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand is that you are offering 1,000,001 different services, most of them that you do not like and you rather not. Like, you're doing the absolute most. And let me guess, right? This is what happened. Somebody was like, hey, can you cater? And you were like, sure. And then somebody was like, oh, do you meal prep? And you were like, I can. And then they were like, oh, do you do custom cakes? And you were like, all right. And then they were like, oh, can you teach cooking classes? And you were like, let's get it. And you said yes to all these things, mainly because you didn't want to turn any client away. You were, excited that all these people want to patronize your services and help you grow your business and want to make use of your culinary skills, except for you don't like half the stuff that you're doing. And you're just like, you don't know how or when or in the foreseeable future when you're going to be able to get off this hamster wheel of offering all these different things, being a chef of all trades, and 99.9% of them you don't even enjoy doing. And the problem is that you don't really want to let your clients down, right? You've told them that you could do this. People love it, right? So if you're doing meal prep or lunches or catering or dinner parties or cooking classes or custom desserts or whatever it is that you're doing that you don't want to do and that you don't enjoy doing, you're concerned that you're going to let those folks down and lose that revenue, right? And so the reason why a high-end culinary brand would be so beneficial to you and to help you get off that hamster wheel so you can get back to loving your business again and loving what you do every day is because a high-end culinary brand is really going to allow you to streamline what you're working on, really focus on the products and services that you're the best at and that you enjoy, but that way you can scale without having to be scattered all over the place, right? So a high-end culinary brand is also, when you do that, when you really focus in on the things that you do the best and the things that you enjoy, it's going to draw the right clientele to you for that reason, and you won't have to be worried about losing clients. It's a win-win. The clients will be happier because they can feel, y'all know food is made with love, right? And so people can feel when you're really into what you're doing. And so you'll have that experience, but you yourself will be happier and you'll be working less, because trying to switch from large catering to small catering to meal prep to lunches to dinner parties to cooking classes to custom desserts to food blogging, whatever it is that you're doing, or the 50 things that you're doing, it's like wearing 1,000 different hats. And so a high-end culinary brand is really going to allow you to focus on what you love, do it well, and attract the clients who really appreciate it. The fourth type of chef who needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand is you have sacrificed your physical and or mental well-being for the sake of your business, and something has got to give. So if I'm right about you, you're the kind of person that you're no stranger to hard work, right? Like, you knew when you started this entrepreneurial journey that you were going to have to put in your 10,000 hours. And so you got to work. You started, doing what you needed to do. Maybe you were getting up early. Maybe you were staying up late. Maybe you were burning the midnight oil. You started listening to all these different business coaches online who were like, hey, you need to be in the 5 a.m. club. You need to post on social media 3 to 5 times a day. And you did it, right? And you were like, and your business grew. It paid off. The problem is it actually cost you more than you thought, right? So you were like, yes, I'm doing it. It's working. This is what all the gurus say. This is what all the books say on business. And you saw your social media influence increase. You saw your revenue and your client load increase. But the problem is it cost you your well-being. And that's way too expensive. And so now you're in a place where you're on the verge of I just want to burn this whole thing to the ground. Don't do that, right? Don't do that. But some days it feels like, man, I'm exhausted and am I going to have to keep doing this to maintain what I've built? And so you're just I need a breather. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep doing this. Maybe you're starting to not enjoy it as much and you're realizing how expensive it was, how much it costs you to work that way, right? You've been working yourself to exhaustion and now that is no longer an option. Your physical and mental well-being are on the top of your priority list. They are number one. Your business might not even be number two. It may be in the top 5, but it might not even be in the second or third slot, right? Because you've realized how much it costs you to function that way. It costs you something way more valuable than anything else. So here's why a high-end culinary brand is going to be so beneficial to you, because a high-end culinary brand will allow you to work less but still make more. You'll be able to work with less clients. You won't have to do so much work for people to convince people to work with you. You won't have to be, posting 3 to 5 times a day and doing all these different things. A high-end culinary brand, by the way that it's built, is going to draw the people to you. And so that's going to give you time to take care of yourself, right? Whether that's you want to get back to moving your body, whether you're somebody who likes to dance or swim or run or go to the gym or play a sport to move your body, whether that's time for relationships, friends and family, whether that's time for hobbies that have been put on the back burner literally for years, whether that's time to, go to therapy, have a life coach, just travel, get near some water, get into nature, whatever it is, that's now at the top of your list. And so it's not that you don't want to work, you just can't keep working the way you've been working. And so you need a high-end culinary brand that's going to support your now, wellness first lifestyle so that you can have that space for yourself, right? Because you don't maybe you've had to get on medication, maybe you've had surgery, maybe you've been on the verge of burnout, all these different things. And you're like, listen, something's going to have to give. And it's more than likely going to be your business. And so what I'm saying to you is that a high-end culinary brand is a great way for you to not completely shut down your business, still have a business that you love, that supports your lifestyle, but allows you to put your physical and mental well-being in the top spot where they should be. So if that's you, let me know in the comments below. Listen, we're halfway through the list. Let me know so far if I'm kind of tiptoeing around your kitchen. If you're like, Evelyn, how did you know this sounds like me all day? Now we've got 4 more to go. So, and here's the thing, more than one of these can apply to you, right? So let me know in the comments below which one of these, or if there's more than one of these, applies to you. Let's keep going. So here's the 5th type of chef that needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand. And it's that you want to leave your corporate job to do your culinary business full time, but the math ain't mathing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? The math is not adding up. So here's what's going on right now. You've had your culinary business on the side of your corporate job for a while now, maybe a year or more, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Listen, you could be a decade into this thing. I don't know. That's your business, right? But and you love it, and like in your deepest desires, you're like, I really would love to do this full time. Like you would love to leave your job and do this full time, whether it's that you don't really like your full-time job, or is that, you know what, my full-time job's not that bad, but I enjoy this so much, I would really love to see where I could go with this. But here's the problem. Okay, you've been in your career for a while now, and you've established a certain standard of living that you're accustomed to. And so you're looking at like how many clients you get in your culinary business on the side, and you just can't see numerically how your culinary business is going to be able to replace, let alone exceed, your current corporate salary. You're just like, I want to do this, but I'm not in the phase of life where I'm trying to go backwards, from a income standpoint, right? Like you're not about struggle entrepreneurship. That's for people who are like early teens, early 20s. You're like, that's not my thing, right? And so now you're concerned about, well, when will I ever be able to make this switch? Will I ever be able to earn enough for my culinary business to replace and or exceed my corporate salary? And the thing is, even, you've even done the numbers where you're like, even if I do this full time, it just doesn't seem to add up to be a number that you are comfortable with leaving your corporate job, because you're like, okay, I would probably have to work more than I'm working now in my corporate job, in my business, plus the stress and all that. And even if you had, you've created a savings, and even if you've created like, okay, if I want to leave, I've got 6 months of money, of six worth of expenses in the bank. You're like, that's great. But, and then after that, then what? And so here is why a culinary brand is like the thing that you really need to strongly consider, because a high-end culinary brand is going to allow you to charge premium prices and attract premium clientele, so that you don't have to work more than you're working in your corporate job, but you can bring in the kind of income that's going to match and over time exceed what you're currently making in your corporate career. Any other method is going to require you to work with way more clients or spend way more hours. You're going to have to go the volume route. And because of this season of life that you're in, and that you already spent so many years invested into a career, you've got your bachelor's, maybe you got your master's, you've got all these different certifications. You've invested a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of emotions, and a lot of financial resources into building this lifestyle. And while you love cooking, you don't want to throw all that away for something that's not going to even remotely compare to what you currently have going on. And so a high-end culinary brand is actually the solution that you've been looking for. It's like, yeah, you're going to have to play in the high-end premium luxury culinary world if you want to make that transition into full-time culinary entrepreneurship. The sixth type of chef who needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand is you're the chef who wants to add a premium offer to your business, and you're not exactly sure where to start. So truth be told, you've been thinking for a while and pondering that you want to add something premium, you want to add something high end, dare I even say luxurious to your business. You've got these ideas of this product or this service that you want to offer, and you're like, okay, like I'm really excited, and you think that you're ready. Here's the thing though. You've built your business and you've been successful, but whether intentionally or unintentionally, you've kind of built it at a affordable, approachable, dare I even say bargain price point. And maybe you even pride yourself on that a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. You've shown and you've proven to yourself that you can be very successful at that level. But now here's the rub. You want to offer this premium service, this premium product in your business, and you're afraid that it's going to alienate or offend or not go over well with your current clients and followers. And so you feel like you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, where you want to offer this high-end service, that you've got all your creative juices are flowing about all the things that you want to do, and you're like, is that going to turn people off? Is it going to rub them the wrong way? Am I going to get any kind of backlash? And so you're not really sure what to do about it. This is why a high-end culinary brand is something you should definitely consider, because a high-end culinary brand is going to allow you to have this premium offering, this premium service, and it's going to attract the clients who are expecting to pay a premium price point, the kind of clients who want to patronize the kind of product or service that you have been kind of simmering on and thinking about. It's going to attract the person who has the budget and the willingness and the eagerness, and it's their pleasure to pay a premium price point because, your concerns are valid. If you try to introduce a luxury premium high-end service to an audience, a client roster, a clientele, a follower, a community of people who value bargain pricings, it doesn't mix, right? It's like oil and water. It doesn't go together. And so the reason why you really need to consider transitioning to a high-end culinary brand is because a high-end culinary brand will allow you to encompass all of your products or services, particularly the ones that are at a higher price point. Now, the seventh type of chef that needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand is you're actually the chef who you want to start off your entrepreneurial, or dare I say your chefpreneurial journey from a premium price point. You don't want to have to pivot later. You don't want to start low and then try to figure out how to transition and change over your audience at a later date. You want to come out the gate as a premium high-end culinary brand. And so here's the thing, right? You are not interested in learning the hard way. You're not interested in baptism by fire. You're not interested in struggle entrepreneurship. Like you're done looking at other chefs' websites trying to figure out how they're doing it. Like that's just no longer your thing, right? You're in a stage in life where you don't want to waste time doing Google searches, trying to reverse engineer people's business strategy. You don't want to spend 5,000 hours on YouTube trying to look for the answer. Like you're over that phase of your life is done. You want to start off your business as a high-end culinary brand. Like you just want to come out the gate as that. You don't want to like gradually move up to it. And so if I'm right about you, you're no stranger to hard work. Listen, you're going to have to do what you need to do to have your business grow, but you're the kind of person you're like, if I can minimize mistakes from the beginning, let me do that. You want to get ahead of the curve. You don't trying to learn on the job training. You're like, maybe a little bit of that. But if I can have a strategic plan in place before I get too far out there, that's what you want to do, because you are very aware that your skills, your experience, your expertise in the kitchen are worthy of a certain price point. And so you want to start off with that. You want to charge according to the value that you bring, and you're willing to take the extra time on the front end to learn and do what you have to do to lead with a high-end culinary brand, right? And you understand that good things take time. So you're not in a place where you're like, I got to make money right now. Like I got to make money today. Like that is not, you're not in that desperation energy. You're like, listen, this is about to be a lifelong career for me. This is whether it's going to be your initial career, your next career, or the next phase of your career. And you're like, listen, let's come out the gate, right? Let's do this from the beginning. And so you're in a place where you're looking for like a roadmap, a process, a step-by-step system that's going to teach you how to build a high-end culinary brand so you can get all those pieces and all those components and everything that you need together. Now, you're the kind of, you like to have all your ducks in a row. Listen, it's kind of like, it's like mise en place, right? You're like, before I start cooking up this brand and taking on clients, I want to make sure that I set myself up for success as much as possible. And so you need a high-end culinary brand framework that's going to teach you what all needs to go in that as you're getting started. So listen, I feel you. I'm one of those kind of people. I did have to learn the hard way initially, but once I figured out how to create a high-end culinary brand, I'm with you. It's not about procrastinating, right? So that's not what we're into. It's not about just trying to learn everything and that there'll be zero learning on the job. But you're like, I want to have a solid strategic plan in place. I don't want to fly by the seat of my pants. I don't want to wing it. I don't want to figure it out as I go. I want to have a solid plan in place and I want to follow that. And then if I do have to tweak along the way, you're totally okay with that. You're willing to do the work, but you just want to get ahead of the curve. And for the eighth type of chef who needs to consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand is you're the chef that you have amassed a pretty significant social media following and a pretty insignificant client roster. And you're like, make it make sense. Like, it's not computing. You've got this wonderful, robust, maybe even fairly large social media following, depending on what social networks you are. But that doesn't seem to be translating into your business, into your profit and loss statement, into your client roster, right? And you're like, there's make it make sense, Evelyn. There's a disconnect going on here. And here's the thing. If I'm right about you went into business and you were like, listen, you were listening to all the business gurus, you were following, you didn't care if it was restaurant business advice, food blogger advice, you've been following advice that was meant for online business coaches, you've been following people who are giving you marketing and business strategies that have absolutely nothing to do with the food industry, but you were just like, I need something, so I'm going to do it. So you've been following these playbooks that you have built a following, but those playbooks didn't work for food. And so it didn't allow you to convert that following into clients. Okay. And so the reason why you're frustrated is because you're like, you've got all these people around singing your praises. They love your content. They love, what you put out, but they haven't really put their money where their mouth is. And you're like, if I'm so amazing and all these people really enjoy what I'm doing, show me the money. Like, what is happening here? Like, you're not struggling, you're not doing bad, but in proportion, it's definitely off to you. And you're like, there must be something that I don't know, okay, on why I'm having this experience. And so here's why you need a high-end culinary brand, because a high-end culinary brand is going to draw out of those masses the people who are willing to pay you a premium price point and who are drawn to you for the right reasons. They're not just freeloaders. They're not just freebie seekers. They're not just like, show me and teach me and entertain me and do all the things. You're going to draw out the people who really want to put their money where their mouth is, literally and figuratively. Listen, I love a good food analogy, food metaphor situation. I feel like I've been doing that all through this video. And so a high-end culinary brand is going to allow you to pull those people out, and you won't have to work with the masses. You don't have to do volume if you don't want to, but it will make your revenue a little bit more proportional to what you think you should be bringing in based on the size of community that you have. So listen, I have shared so many of like the 8 types of chefs that should consider transitioning their business to a high-end culinary brand. So I just want to run back through them briefly. I'm going to go in reverse. So number 8, right, which is, you have a significant social media following, but an insignificant client roster, and you needed to make it make sense. Or number 7, you are someone who wants to start off on the right foot. Like, you're like, I want to lead with a high-end culinary brand because I do not want to pivot later. Okay. I'm looking at my notes here because y'all know I come with the notes. Okay. Number 6 is you want to add a premium offer to your business, and you're not exactly sure where to start because you've kind of built your business as a bargain affordable brand. And you're like, I don't know if my current clients or following is going to be down for that. Right. Number 5, okay, as we're going in reverse, is you want to leave your corporate job to do your culinary business full time, but the math isn't mathing, okay? You need that business to meet and have the potential to exceed your current salary because, listen, you didn't spend too many years, too much time, too much investing in that career and a certain level, a certain comfort, standard of living to go out here and be struggling in these entrepreneurial streets, right? And so you need a high-end culinary brand that's going to help you make that transition. Number 4, okay, is you sacrifice your physical and or both, like or mental well-being for the sake of your business, and something has got to give. So the days of working ain't to faint, as the old folks used to say, of hustle and grind culture, which we don't subscribe to over here, and the days of like business being number 1 on the list over your health and wellness are over. And so you need a high-end culinary brand because you need to create margin in your life so that you can make yourself a priority. Number 3, okay, as we're doing the countdown, is you're offering 1,000,001 services and you're like, listen, I don't even like 90% of what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm doing the absolute most, right? And you're just tired of it. Like, you don't want to hate your business. You want to enjoy your clients. But when you're doing a whole bunch of things that you do not like to do, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Okay. And that is what's happening here. You need a high-end culinary brand so you can focus on what you enjoy and what you're the best at and attract the kind of clients who will appreciate that, right? Number 2, you're booked, busy, and at capacity. Everybody thinks booked and busy is sexy. They think it's the thing to be. And they're like, yes, until you realize, like, I'm stuck at a plateau, say it with me, with nowhere to go. I'm stuck at a plateau with nowhere to go. You want to grow your business and you can't. There's no more of you. There's no more out. There aren't any more hours in the day. And you're like, I'm on this hamster wheel and I don't see how I can get off. And if you're not careful, you're going to be sliding into number 3, which is going to have you booked, busy, and burnt out, right? I mean, which is going to have you sacrificing your physical and mental well-being. It's like, don't slide from one to the other. Let's fix this right here and right now. And then number 1, and these are not necessarily ranked. These are just the 8 different types of chefs that really, truly should consider transition their business to a high-end culinary brand, is you are attracting clients who have champagne taste. They got big dreams. Okay, and big appetites, but they got tap water budgets. And you're like, listen, I am not Walmart. I am not McDonald's. No shade to those, but if you want food for those kind of prices, you need to go over there. You are a culinary artisan. You want to be able to be fully expressed. You want to be all that you can be as a chef, right? You want to do all the things. And it's like, you need the kind of people who not only appreciate that, but who are willing and excited and able to pay for that, right? And so you're done with the people negotiating your invoices, nitpicking things apart, trying to downgrade your creativity and your expertise to fit their eensy weensy teeny meeny budgets. Okay. So listen, let me know in the comments below which one or ones of these 8 types of chefs do you feel like apply to you? And if you, after listening to this video, if you're like, yeah, Evelyn, I really feel like a high-end culinary brand is definitely probably the best approach for me to go, then I want to invite you to join me in the High Ticket Table workshop, where it's all about what it takes to create a high-end culinary brand. Now, let me give you some details about this workshop, because you're probably like, listen, okay, now that I know that I need, not just want, like I need a high-end culinary brand, otherwise I'm going to be stuck in this pattern of the 8 types of chefs who need a high-end culinary brand. And you're like, I don't want to do that. You're somebody like, once I know what the solution is, I take action because I need relief. Then I want to share the details with you. What's so great about this workshop is it's just that it's a workshop. In this workshop, we go through not only what a high-end culinary brand is, but I break down the formula of all the components that you need to have in your business to have a high-end culinary brand. We also walk through some very commonly asked questions like where to find high-end clients, how do I convince people or justify, a higher price point? How do I have the confidence to charge higher prices? But here's the thing. Yes, we're going to answer those questions and it's great. But the reason that this is a workshop and not like a webinar or a masterclass or something like that is then you're actually going to go through the entire high-end culinary brand formula, and we're going to audit your business together. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to see where you need to make some tweaks, some changes, some upgrades so that you can be on a path to create a high-end culinary brand. Because once you have this audit, you can you will be able to create a project plan, because in the workshop, I'm going to tell you like, okay, if you're needing some improvement in this area versus that area, I'm going to tell you the order in which you need to implement those, right, to get the best results. So you'll not only know like what's included in a high-end culinary brand, you'll know what you're doing well and some areas that you might want to enhance, upgrade, tweak, completely change, or some areas that may be completely missing from your business. I'm going to explain to you how to communicate your prices to clients so they say yes. I'm also going to show you in this workshop what you need to do so that you can attract the high-end clients, but then you can repel the tire kickers and the people who are not a good fit, right? And so again, this is not about people not being good enough or not that they just might not be the right fit, because truth be told, and contrary to popular opinion, everything is not for everybody. And so you want to make sure that you're drawing the right people to your business so that you can enjoy your business as the CEO of your business, and that your clientele can have a more enjoyable experience as your client, right? We're going to talk about what are the things that make people want to pay higher prices and not, pitch a fit about it, right? What makes someone say, yes, I'm willing to pay you more for something that this person over here is charging less for? Because that's a common question that I get from my clients, is like, well, why would somebody be willing to pay me more for what I do when there's a chef down the street that does something very similar to me and they're charging half of what I charge? And we're going to talk about what those things are and how to incorporate them into your business, and so that you not only have the confidence of knowing what it is that you're bringing, but that it's obvious to your potential clientele. So, we're going to do so much more, but if you are like, yes, Evelyn, that is something that I need like yesterday, all of the details about the workshop are in the box below this video. So or you can go to hightickettable.com and all of the details are there. I want you to join me for that workshop because I really think it's going to be transformational. Like I said, it's not just you're going to sit there and just learn things. We're actually going to be doing some work so that when you leave, you have an action plan of, here are the things that I need to go do in this order to transition my business to a high-end culinary brand. Like, we're all about action over here. Learning is fantastic, but then you have to implement what you have learned to get the results. Whether you've been in any of my masterclasses for, my clients, I tell people all the time, information without application just leads to frustration. But information plus implementation, right, is like, that's what's going to get you to the next level, right? So it's amplification, right? So if you're like, yes, I'm someone that I want to learn, but I also want to implement and do, this is the workshop for you. So listen, I am excited to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, 3 things I want you to do. Number 1, let me know in the comments below which one or ones of these you feel like apply to you. Number 2, if you're like, yes, I need a high-end culinary brand, I want you to go to hightickettable.com and register for the workshop. And the third thing is, if you know another chef that you feel like, yes, they fall into this category and this video will be beneficial to them, I want you to share this video with them, right? Because I wanted to make this a resource so you can kind of see, like, here's where I am, here's what I'm experiencing, and here's the solution I need. Because sometimes just knowing what's going on and knowing what you need to do can take a lot of stress off of you, because now you go, okay, I have a plan. There is hope. There is relief for the circumstance that I find myself in. And so sharing is caring. So let me know in the comments below which one of these you feel, or multiple of these, apply to you. Number 2, make sure to register for the High Ticket Table workshop. And number 3, share this video with as many chefs as you think could benefit from understanding that they need a high-end culinary brand. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.